Hi team, welcome to your sort of next set of Power BI visualization trainings. So hopefully you found the video. You can kind of see a bunch of the things that we're going to do. So you get some new visuals in terms of tornado charts, gauges. There's also some line graphs. This training just builds upon thinking about the audience a little bit more. I think this training does a little bit better job of that than the past one, and thinking through kind of the why. So let's just talk through it. Again, foundational skill. A lot of people are using this in industry. So your managers asked you to make more progress, essentially, because we want to keep learning the tool and what all it's capable of. And right now you just have this sort of functional understanding. You still are only going to have that after this, but you'll see a lot more things of what this is going to be capable of. So to keep advancing that training, we're going to do another DataCamp training called Data Visualization in Power BI. So if you open up our course, again, it's going to look a little bit different, but you should see this here. Again, bear with me, as again, there's no way for me to go into like student mode here. But as you go in and you go to assignments, you should see data visualization in Power BI. So it's this one right here. You should already have introduction to Power BI done. In terms of kind of the things it'll help us with, really it's just going to help us build more visuals, a better understanding of it. It'll help, you'll do some KPI monitoring, some gauges, and just see again more of what that tool is capable of. So when you encounter it out in the real world, you have a functional knowledge of it. And don't forget, if you are someone that's like, hey, I really want to do data viz, as you go down, like I have these data analyst tracks in here, depending on which one you like. So this one is in Power BI, and then there's another one in Tableau that you're welcome to do as you go through. And it uses the ones that we're using now, so you're actually building those kind of skills. In terms of required materials, again, I have it outlined in the requirements. You need access to our data visualization. I'm hoping everyone at this point has it, but if not, you can join using this link, and then you'll need the data visualization and Power BI interactive course. There's also one thing in D2L, so a document that looks like this, where I'm going to get your feedback on things, at least up to this point. So you're going to download this, and it'll be the second thing you submit. So you insert your name, anything that's highlighted, you're going to either select and write about, or something of that nature. And I'll come back to that in just a second. In terms of evaluation criteria, you need to complete the course, and then you're going to submit that proof to the assignment folder titled Advancing Power BI Data Visualization Training. So again, I have that's in D2L. Again, what that'll look like will be something like this, right? Your statement of accomplishment. So you're going to do that. This one, again, shouldn't take as long. That's why I've added this kind of second piece. And so this feedback form is, you're going to submit it in the same place. So I know that may be a little bit unintuitive, but if you have any errors uploading, I have it set up to allow multiple uploads. Try one at a time, and that's perfectly fine. And what you're going to have to do is, it shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes. It's just talking about both tools so far. Which one do you find more intuitive, basic, and why? So just select one of these, unhighlight, and tell me why. Talk to me about DataCamp. Then we're going to get a little bit more specific, right? Very basic things about weaknesses and strengths that you're seeing so far. And I'll see if I can address them as we kind of go through. Advanced features, and then new job. Which one do you think you would want to go with? So I'm collecting data from you all. And there's no right answer here. As long as you fill it out, you'll get the points for it. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. And again, I'll provide feedback hopefully pretty quickly. But if you do run into questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Before you dive in, I want to just talk about a couple pain points in the program. So I tried to take notes as I'm going through these just to make sure things that are frustrating to me maybe are a little bit less frustrating to you. So I wanted to, again, just to remind people of kind of just some basic things, or if you're jumping in here and you weren't able to complete the last one, you're not completely lost. And so how you go through, and this one does a little bit of concept checking and things of that nature, but one, I don't need you to be perfect. You'll see there were some where either I didn't figure it out or I had to skip through and do the hint. So I figured I would jump in and try and show you at least some of those pieces. And so again, it's going to log in throughout this. If you ever close and you need to kind of start up again, it has those files that you can go through. Part of me is kind of torn on if I should just finish one and then restart from what they have. I'll let you choose that because there were some kind of conflicting instructions here. But to do that, for this one, you don't actually have to link any data. And so just go to the file, open tab, and then browse the device. And you'll see down here in the context, it is signaling where to go from the exercises. So in this one, it's saying do the visual layout, open it here. And it is going to think a little bit. I know particularly I worked on it both on my home internet and the Eller internet, and this thing moves slow. So give it a little bit of time to think. Don't kind of stress about it. While it continues to load, I will. It's so tempting just to get here and click next, but I would take the time to go through and read it. It's talking about the why a lot of times in this context, what you're trying to do, where you're going to try and build things, and I think it helps make a little bit more intuitive sense and to kind of connect the dots and things of that kind of nature. So you'll see a lot of this kind of loaded up. And this is actually one that frustrated me quite a bit. Let's see if we see the same mistake. So change the title on the bar chart, visual from sales amount. You can actually get around these if you're creative. I would not. I would make sure that you're kind of going through and actually doing all the steps, even if it's not going to impact the final answer. Let's see, total sales amount by, I could type amount by product for women. Next, change the display of the total sales on the axis on the bar chart. Display the full amount with 0 decimals. So little things like this, where we're going X, display values. Woo. It'll be 0 there, and so we'll do none, shows there. Think about 5,000 to make the visual stand out. We'll add a constant line. So that's going to be our analytics tab, constant line. We can add a line. We can do it at 5, 1, 2, 3. Run through that piece. And it will stand out at a constant line, make it black or something like that. All right, so we can do black on that kind of piece, which if we go, hopefully, oops, I put 50,000. That's why it's causing problems on that piece. All right, then you can do an average line. So again, very, very similar in that we don't want a constant line. We can do an average line, add a line, and then a lot of it's just editing it such that you can mess with the formatting and stuff of that nature. Where you go with the actual line, I think it wanted it as white, darker, 60% or something like this. So it goes through. Rename the slicers. I'm not going to do that to save you all a little bit of time, but again, going in here on that formatting tab, slicer settings, You could do the header here. I don't actually know the difference between the header and the title. It'll add another one on there, but you don't need to. Here, and this is one that I actually missed. I know that's why, because I think I had the wrong here. So if you get into this piece and you have the wrong, I think it set it up as franchise the time before, which bugged me and frustrated me. But it's just looking for that one there. There's another one later on that goes through where it's going to ask you for a date, and it has the notes that I took. It has MMMM dash year, which makes no sense because you're going to type in March 2021. So don't stress out if you have those pieces. Later on, you're going to do DAX renames. I'll show that in just a second. I know as I go back, if you do redo it, you can get 100, right? So you can see that mine updated throughout here, which it's up to you in terms of how or if you want to kind of do that. In terms of how do I want to show you this? Yeah, the KPIs and the gauges. So I'll jump into here. You can tell that I kind of needed some help. I don't know if I was tired when I was going through here, but I'll open this and then I'm going to open up the file. I won't make you watch that. Actually, I will because I will close this. All right, so go up here. I'm not going to save it. I'll do file, open, browse this device, and then we want our gauge open, things of that nature. All right, so we'll talk through the various pieces. It's really these new measures that you're going to go through and create. Again, maybe yours is going to be, I don't know if I made a mistake there. Maybe yours is going to be a little bit easier or faster than mine, but I'll talk about pain points that I saw. All right, so it's going to have you do quite a few of these DAX measures. And the process is going to be the same, where you just do the drop down, you do a new measure. But a lot of times I was going through and I was trying to rename the measure first when this new toolbar comes up, and it collapses, which frustrated me over and over and over, and then the thing just goes away. And so a small thing that I found with that is when you're doing these new measures, do the coding first and then do the rename. I'm not sure why. It may be part of the virtual machine issue that it's kind of having. But if you go in here, and so this first one's asking for 0.7, then you go in and do the renaming up here, where this would be the total profit margin, and then I think it wants this as a percent, so tell you what it as a percent, something like that. Then, yeah, names my measure, the percentage, I click off. You'll see it's trying to think, so kind of like Tableau, it's thinking through all these various pieces, and then that new measure is right there. So just small things to kind of be cognizant of, and again, I know this is kind of frustrating, but we're learning together. Let me know if you have any questions.